You're watching a P-Rob Media production.
What's up, DiaBEAST family, and welcome back to another edition of DiaBEAST Kitchen. Now today we are making some Spanish quinoa with some Pico De Gallo and some piton beans. And yes, this is a little bit basic. This is just me in my element on a Saturday. Really didn't feel like cooking, so I just wanted to make something quick and easy. So I decided to show you guys how to make Spanish quinoa and fresh Pico De Gallo. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our Instapot to saute, and then while it is warming up, we are going to add 1 cup of quinoa. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you know every time I drop a new video. So now that we have the measurements that we are looking for, we are going to add some olive oil to our Instapot, or actually inside of our Instapot. And now we're going to add 1 thin slice of the onion that we cut up before. We're gonna give it a nice little mix. We're gonna open up our tomato can, but we're not gonna use it just yet. But we are going to add our quinoa after we add our onion. And while that is cooking and browning in the Instapot, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato bouillon. And now I'm going to add 1 can of tomato sauce. I'm going to mix everything in, make sure the onions and the quinoa is nicely infused with the tomato sauce. And ladies and gentlemen, this is smelling so amazing. You definitely have to try this the next time you're in the kitchen cooking. Now that everything is cooking in the Instapot, we are going to add 2.5 cups of water to our tomato bouillon. We're going to mix everything inside that water, and once everything is nicely mixed and infused, we are going to add that into the Instapot. It's that simple and it's that easy, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to stir everything around, make sure everything is in there properly. We're going to put the top back onto our Instapot. We're going to set it to rice and grain, and we're going to go on to our next step. We'll push it to the side and go on to our next step, and that is making our fresh Pico De Gallo. So this is how simple and easy this recipe is. Like, once you have your Instapot, you can set it and forget it and go on to the next step. And this next step is we're going to use the remainder of the onion that we chopped up before, and we're going to mince this onion. Now that we have our onion nicely chopped up, we're going to start with our cilantro. Now, ladies and gentlemen, cilantro is actually one of my favorite vegetables / herb, but I love adding this onto the Pico De Gallo. This is what makes Pico De Gallo the Pico De Gallo that it is. This is the main event. Once the cilantro is nice and chopped up, we are going to slice up 2 tomatoes. We're going to slice and we're going to chop into cubes. Lucky for me, I have my fancy little device and it does it for me. I don't have to worry about chopping this up. So now that we have our onions, tomatoes, and cilantro nicely chopped up, we're going to add all ingredients to our bowl, just like this. Now, usually I would add some lime, I would add some jalapenos, but not today. I didn't have those ingredients. I just used what I had in the refrigerator. Budget meal. So lucky for me, I had some chili lime seasoning I'm adding to the Pico De Gallo. Now, instead of using salt, I really like using this particular seasoning. It just gives it that extra flavor, that pizzazz that this Pico De Gallo needs. Now, once I have everything in the bowl, I'm going to mix everything around, make sure it is nicely infused, and by this time, the indicator on my Instapot is flashing and telling me that my quinoa is done. And look at there, ladies and gentlemen, I was right. It is done. We open it up, but you make sure that you vent it first. We don't want any kitchen accidents. So once everything is nice and ready to go, it is time. Yes, that is right. It is time to start plating. So this is a little trick to make my plates and bowls and everything look fancy. I use like a little cylinder or a little cup, and I fill it all the way up with whatever type of rice or grain that I'm using. I flip the plate upside down and then I add it to the plate. And once you release this cup, it's going to give it a beautiful dome-like shape. And that's the trick of the day, ladies and gentlemen. And then I'm going to add my fresh Pico De Gallo, which is smelling amazing, by the way. And now it is time to put my freshly cooked pinto beans in the middle of this plate. I know this doesn't look like much, but it is enough for me. I'm not trying to overeat this year, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2022, so we need to be mindful of what we put into our bodies. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are all done. But I like to take the time and thank each and every one of you for taking the time and watching my videos. You could be anywhere, but you decided to be here with me. And for that, I thank you very much. So don't forget to tune in, tell a friend, and subscribe. Holla at your boy. Peace.